Your powers are weak, old man.
You can't win, Darth. If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
So we're going to talk about this. They're cowards for leaving and why that argument hurts you. What am I talking about? Obviously, I am talking about SYSBM. Shout out to K-Soul and Black. I watched a video of his today about basically SYSBM and how men are leaving. They're leaving. Already happening. Not gonna leave, leaving. And we have a popular pushback for it. The popular pushback is they're cowards for leaving the community. The Black men are but anyway, so we got popular pushback for saying that they're cowards for leaving the community. And when you kind of dig just a little bit deeper past they're cowards, you get the other pushback, the other popular one. They just want easier women. They just want easier women. They're cowards for leaving, and they want easier women. Let's examine cowardliness. To accuse someone of being a coward, you are accusing them of being fearful of something to the point of running away from it rather than facing it. Okay. When you call someone a coward, you're saying that that person is overcome and overwhelmed with fear of something. And that fear is so overwhelming to them that they would rather take a road that is easier than to stay and deal with the thing that is causing the fear. But what never gets asked is that if the men are cowards, aka are fearful of their women, my question would be, why are you making yourself something to fear? And conversely, accusing him of seeking an easier woman. And then the follow-up question becomes, why aren't you the easier woman? See how that argument doesn't work for you? See how it doesn't work in your favor? It just doesn't work in your favor. That doesn't work for you. He's a coward for not facing me. Why are you something for him to face down and overcome? Why does a Black man have to face down a Black woman and overcome her? Let's examine that. Because a lot of the men here have come to a consensus, and I happen to agree, that Black women have an innate sense of ownership of the collective of Black men. When you have ownership, you have mastery over something or someone. A couple of years ago, I had ownership of a cat. And I mean a separate animal, not kitty cat. I'm talking about a real cat. I had ownership of a cat. I owned the cat. Now, I love the cat, but I didn't take no crap off the cat. The cat couldn't scratch at me. It couldn't hiss at me. It couldn't run amok in my house. I had rules for this cat. The cat could not overstep its bounds. And when the cat did, really kind of through no fault of its own, but it did, I got rid of the cat because it was my option to get rid of the cat because I owned the cat. And then I decided not to own the cat. I own my car. I have dominion over that because I own it. I drive it when I want. When I want. I put gas in it. I do stuff. I could leave it dirty if I wanted to. Who's to say? Who's gonna call me on? Who's gonna check me, boo, about my car? Nobody. Right? Because I own it. When you own stuff, you have a mastery over it. You have dominion over it. You get to tell it what to do. If it's something that's alive, you get to tell it stuff. Or if it's an inanimate object, you get to do what you want to do with it. And nobody can tell you any different, even if you're being destructive. So there's an innate sense of ownership, a master, if you will, owning a servant. And if you were a master that owned a servant, why, you'd be upset if that servant served elsewhere and not you. I mean, didn't they enter into a contract with you? And now they're off somewhere else serving cocktails somewhere else. You'd be a little upset, I would imagine. Right? Because he isn't supposed to be serving someone else. See, this is why Kobe Bryant was reduced to his resources. This is why these hyenas are angry about that. Because there's an innate sense of ownership, and he is not to be taking his resources and enriching other masters with it. He's supposed to be enriching you with it. Because after all, you're the master, aren't you? Or are you? That's why you get so angry with celebrities who make up what, less than 1% of the ADOS population? When they find other masters, as you think of it, and enrich them, their resources are leaving the community. AKA, how is it possible for my servant to serve another master and enrich them thereby. Thank you, Malika. Said black men don't want to be owned, have conflict, be in competition with black women. We want a complementary, peaceful, and feminine woman. Mm-hmm. Yes, Silverman, this is why they use words like treason, because that belongs to a governmental body or an authoritarian body. Now, they'll deny that they think they own you, but they do. They do. They do think that. So since you're the master, he's a coward for not overcoming your mastery over him. And see, this is what they mean by he can't handle a strong, slope-backed hyena. My back legs, way too powerful. I kick up a lot of dust on the Serengeti plains, and he just can't handle it. He just can't handle it. Look at all this dust I kicked up. You think he's coming over here to do something about this dust I'm kicking up? Mm-mm. So you're a coward for not facing her down, taking away by force her supposed ownership of you, completely dominating her, and then moving on, but always with a foot on her neck and a gun to her head to make her do what you need her to do. Thank you, Nas. Said peace to our very own Sarabi, Lioness's rule. Thank you, sweetie. My question, and it should be their own question, but they're not going to ask it because those questions cause self-reflection, is why in God's green earth, thank you, Dark Power, am I presenting myself to my man as an obstacle that he must overcome in order to move forward? And then simultaneously, if he does what he needs to do to actually overpower me, I'm gonna cry abuse and toxic masculinity. When all he's gotta really do is just go to another woman that isn't doing that. I don't know why you didn't think you were that easily replaced. You made yourself easy to replace. You didn't make yourself invaluable. You didn't make yourself priceless. You made yourself worthless. Because there are women in other countries that didn't even have to be here in his face to win him from you. Think about that. These are women that don't know these men. They haven't lived with them. They haven't raised them. They haven't worked around them. They haven't done anything. And just off the strength of the promise that those other women will be better women, they're gone. That's all it is. Just the strength of the promise and some anecdotal evidence of a brother they knew here and a guy they talked to there that said it was cool in Brazil and it was good in Costa Rica and it was good. That's all. Do those women have problems? Sure. Is that just an oasis of women who never say a mumbling word to anybody? Nope. I'm pretty sure they got their own brand of whatever. But they don't need to be perfect. They just need to be better than you. That's the part that you miss. They don't need to be perfect. They just need to be better. You think they need to be perfect, but you live in a fantasy world. You live in a hyena cubbyhole where everything is like living in the world of Alice in Wonderland. We are in the pride lands where there's reality. Your strength, supposed strength, has abandoned you and failed you. While you look upon these other women in these other places as easy prey, docile, doormatted, pick-me women, they're actually being picked by your men. These are the same men that aren't scared to go compete for those women because you don't think those men of those women want them. You're the one caught up in delusions of perfection. Black men want us to be perfect. They just wanted you to be better. They just wanted you to not be the obstacle that you were making yourself to be. That's all they wanted. And you couldn't do that because that hurt your pride. You didn't want to do that because that hurt your pride. You didn't want to be, that hurt your pride. You didn't want to do that because it was weak. I'm not going to be a pick me. He not going to run over me. I'm going to be a competent, aka combative woman. And he just needs to man up and deal with it. You gambled on red and you lost. You gambled on red and you lost. You gambled and you lost. To women that don't know your men. You lost to absentee women. That's who you lost to. They're not even here. They're not even here at all. And you lost. How do you lose to some people that ain't here? You're a real loser. You're an absolute loser. You're a definite hyena. While those women are being called pick-me's, they'll be picked is what you don't understand. By the men that you want, not the ones you don't want. Because the hyena males aren't going anywhere. That's the part you don't understand. Those hyena males that lick and lap up under you, they're not leaving. They're not going anywhere. They're staying with the clan. It's the lions that are moving off to follow the herd. They're not staying in the dry lands in the drought with you. The herds of wildebeest and ibex, and they've moved on to other watering holes way across the plain. Ain't nobody staying over where the drought is at and little musty, little dusty hyenas kicking up all the dust. You're who dusty. You're the dusty. Since we want to talk about dusty, you dusty. You a whole dust storm. And them little dusty, little broke dusties that y'all always talking about, those are the hyena males. They're not going anywhere. You're going to be stuck with them. Because dusty little hyena males don't have the wherewithal to travel and see the world and see other women. They don't actually have that wherewithal. Sorry to break it to you. It's the ones with the money. It's the ones with the intelligence. It's the ones with the resources you so vehemently covet, to the point where you'll talk crap about a dead man. You've lost. You're in the process of losing. There's no, this is a 2-minute drill, fourth quarter, you down by 50 points. There's no way you can win this game. You've lost this game. You've won some battles, but you've lost the war. You won battles when you gave these men your whole behind to kiss. You won the battles when you created all of these programs just for your girls, not your children, your girls. Black girls rock. Black girl magic. And when I brought it up, it was some conversation I was having last year. I don't even know who I was talking to. But I asked, why can't the women make these programs for boys? It's up to the men to make the programs for the boys. But you're the mother. Why aren't you creating programs for your children? All of them, not just the females. So you won that battle. You won the battles in custody court and family court, but you lost the war. You lost the war because your men have finally given up on you, not on themselves, on you. And they've said, you know what? You got it. You don't like us. We're nothing to you. We're broke dusties. We're incompetent men. We're dominated men. Okay. Then we serve you no purpose, and we bid you a fond farewell. Now you're bitching about it. You won these little battles, but you lost the war because you can't see the forest for the trees. You have no concept of the big picture. None. These other women from other cultures are happy to get Black men. And you want me to tell you why they're happy to get Black men? It's not necessarily that Black men are necessarily better than their men. But you know what it is? Black men are more accommodating than their men. See, the treatment that you fear, he gonna beat you, he gonna this, he gonna that. These other women prefer Black men because that's what they won't get. That they actually might get with their men. Because African men and Arab men, they don't play. They don't play with that. Asian men either, to be honest with you. The Asian man will smack the dog crap out of a chick and walk off and be like, she need to make him some stir-fried rice later without no complaint. And he wants some sex. That's what they're not getting out of Black men. The threat of being beat every second if something doesn't go right. Yeah, well, if they should know Asian men don't play, because they pop you in your mouth. They don't care nothing about that loud mouthing and that hair hat. They don't respect you anyway because you come in and come get hair hats and eyelashes. So they don't respect you. They see you for the hyenas that you are. And they're not lions, they're dragons.